Hi everyone, welcome back. Section 84 of Sambhava continued. Vaishampayan said, Yayati, then overcome with receptitude, returned to his capital and summoning his eldest son Yadu, who was also the most accomplished, addressed him thus: Dear child, from the curse of Kachavas, called also Usna, receptitude and wrinkles and whiteness of hair have come over me. But I have not been gratified yet with the enjoyment of youth. Do thou, O Yadu, take this my weakness along with my deceptitude. I shall enjoy with thy youth. And when a full 1,000 years will have elapsed, returning to thee thy youth, I shall take back my weakness with this receptitude. Yadu replied, There are innumerable inconveniences in receptitude in respect of drinking and eating. Therefore, O king, I shall not take thy receptitude. This is indeed my determination. White hair on the head, cheerlessness and relaxation of the nerves, wrinkles all over the body, deformities, weakness of the limbs, emaciation, incapacity to work, defeat in the hands of friends and companions, these are the consequences of receptitude. Therefore, O king, I desire not to take it. O king, thou hast many sons, some of whom are dearer to thee. Thou art acquainted with the precepts of virtue. Ask some other son of thine to take thy receptitude. Yayati replied, Thou art sprung from my heart, O son, but thou givest me not thy youth. Therefore, thy children shall never be kings. And he continued, addressing another son of his, O Turvasu, take thou this weakness of mine along with my receptitude. With thy youth, O son, I like to enjoy the pleasures of life. After the lapse of a full 1,000 years, I shall give back to thee thy youth and take back from thee my weakness and receptitude. Turvasu replied, I do not like receptitude, O father. It takes away all appetites and enjoyments, strength and beauty of person, intellect, and even life. Yayati said to him, Thou art sprung from my heart, O son, but thou givest me not thy youth. Therefore, O Turvasu, thy race shall be extinct. Wretch, thou shalt be the king of those whose practices and precepts are impure, among whom men of inferior blood procreate children upon women of blue blood, who live on meat, who are mean, who hesitate not to appropriate the wives of their superiors, whose practices are those of birds and beasts, who are sinful and non Aryans. Vaishampayan said, Yayati, having thus cursed his son Turvasu, then addressed Sharmishta's son Drahyu. Thus, O Drahyu, take thou for 1,000 years my receptitude, destructive of complexion and personal beauty, and give me thy youth. When 1,000 years have passed away, I shall return thee thy youth and take back my own weakness and receptitude. To this Drahyu replied, O king, one that is decrepit can never enjoy elephants and cars and horses and women. Even his voice becometh hoarse. Therefore, I do not desire to take thy receptitude. Yayati said to him, Thou art sprung from my heart, O son, but thou refusest to give me thy youth. Therefore, thy most cherished desires shall never be fulfilled. Thou shalt be the king only in name of the regions where there are no roads, for the passage of horses and cars and elephants and good vehicles and asses and goats and bullocks and palanquins, where there is swimming only by rafts and floats. Yayati next addressed Anu and said, O Anu, take my weakness and receptitude. I shall with thy youth enjoy the pleasures of life for 1,000 years. To this Anu replied, Those are the decrepit always eat like children, and are always impure. They always pour libations upon fire in proper times. Therefore, I do not like to take thy receptitude. Yayati said to him, Thou art sprung from my heart. Thou givest not thy youth. Thou findest so many faults in deceptitude. Therefore, deceptitude shall overcome thee. And O Anu, thy progeny also, as soon as they attain to youth, shall die. And thou shalt also not be able to perform sacrifices before fire. Yayati at last turned to his youngest son, Puru, and addressed him thus: Thou art, O Puru, my youngest son, but thou shalt be the first of all. Receptitude, wrinkles, and whiteness of hair have come over me in consequence of the curse of Kavya, also called Ushna. I have not yet, however, been satiated with my youth. O Puru, take thou this my weakness and receptitude. With thy youth I shall enjoy for some years the pleasures of life, and when 1,000 years have passed away, I shall give back to thee thy youth and take back my own receptitude. Vaishampayan said, thus addressed by the king, Puru answered with humility, I shall do, O monarch, as thou biddest me. I shall take, O king, thy weakness and receptitude. Take thou my youth and enjoy as thou likest, as thou listest, the pleasures of life. Covered with thy receptitude and becoming old, I shall, as thou commandest, continue to live, giving thee my youth. Yayati then said, O Puru, I have been gratified with thee, and being gratified, I tell thee that the people in thy kingdom shall have all their desires fulfilled. And having said this, the great ascetic Yayati, then thinking of Kavya, transferred his deceptitude unto the body of the high souled Puru. Section 85. Sambhavapar continued. Vaishampayan said, The excellent monarch Yayati, the son of Nahusha, having received Puru's youth and became exceedingly gratified, and with it he once more began to indulge in his favorite pursuits to the full extent of his desires and to the limit of his powers, according to seasons, and as to derive the greatest pleasure therefrom. And, O king, in nothing that he did, he acted against the precepts of his religion as beloved, as behoved him well. He gratified the gods by his sacrifices, the Pitris by Shraddhas, the poor by his charities, all excellent Brahmins by fulfilling their desires, all persons entitled to the rights of hospitality with food and drinks, the Vaishyas by protection, and the Shudras by kindness. And the king repressed all criminals by proper punishments. And Yayati, gratifying all sections of his subjects, protected them virtuously like another Indra. And the monarch, possessed of the prowess of a lion, with youth and every object of enjoyment under control, enjoyed unlimited happiness without transgressing the precepts of religion. And the king, being very happy in thus being able to enjoy all the excellent objects of his desires. And he was only sorry when he thought that those 1,000 years would come to an end. And having obtained youth for 1,000 years, the king, acquainted with the mysteries of time and watching proper kalas and kasthas, sported with the celestial damsels. Vishwachi, sometimes in the beautiful garden of Indra, sometimes in Alaka, the city of Kuvera, and sometimes on the summit of the mountain Meru on the north. And when the virtuous monarch saw the 1,000 years were full, he summoned his son, Puru, and addressed him thus: O oppressor of foes, with thy youth, O son, I have enjoyed the pleasures of life, each according to its season, to the full extent of my desires, to the limit of my powers. On our desires, however, are never gratified by indulgence. On the other hand, with indulgence, they only flame up, like fire with libations of sacrificial butter. If a single person were owner of everything on earth, all her yields of paddy and barley, her silver, gold, and gems, her animals and women, he would not still be content. Thirst of enjoyment, therefore, should be given up. Indeed, true happiness belongeth to them that have cast off their thirst for worldly objects, a thirst which is difficult to be thrown off by the wicked and the sinful, which faileth not with the failing life, and which is truly the fatal disease of man. My heart hath for a full 1,000 years been fixed upon the objects of desire. My thirst for these, however, increaseth day by day, without abating. Therefore, I shall cast it off, and fixing my mind on Brahma, I shall pass the rest of my days with the innocent deer in the forest peacefully, and with no heart for any worldly objects. And O Puru, I have been exceedingly gratified with thee. Prosperity be thine. Receive back this thy youth. Receive thou also my kingdom. Thou art indeed that son of mine who has done me the greatest services. Vaishampayana continued. Then Yayati, the son of Nahusha, received back his receptitude, and his son Puru received back his own youth. And Yayati was desirous of installing Puru, his youngest son, on the throne. But the four orders of the Brahmins at their heads and then addressed the monarch thus: O king, how shalt thou bestow thy kingdom on Puru, passing over the eldest son Yadu, born of Devyani, and therefore the grandson of the great Shukra? Indeed, Yadu is thy eldest son, and after him hath been born Turvasu of Sharmishta's son, and the first is Drahyu, and then Anu, and then Puru. How does the youngest deserve the throne, passing all the elder brothers over? This we represent to thee, O conform to virtuous practice. Yayati then said, Ye four orders of Brahmins at their heads, hear my words as to why my kingdom should not be given to my eldest son. My commands have been disobeyed by my eldest son, Yadu. The wise say that he is no son who disobeyed his father. The son, however, who is doing the bidding of his parents, who seeketh their good, who is agreeable to them, is indeed the best of sons. I have been disregarded by Yadu, by Turvasutu. Much I have been disregarded by Drahyu and by Anu also. But Puru alone hath my word being obeyed. By him have I been regarded. Therefore the youngest shall be my heir. He took my receptitude. Indeed, Puru is my friend. He did what was so agreeable to me. It hath also been commanded by Shukra himself, the son of Kavi, that the son of mine who should obey me will become king after me and bring the whole earth under his sway. I therefore beseech thee, let Puru be installed on the throne. The people then said, True it is, O king, that that son who is accomplished and who seeketh the good of his parents deserveth prosperity, even if he be the youngest. Therefore doth Puru, who had done the good, deserve the crown. And as Shukra himself hath commanded it, we have nothing to say to it. Vaishampayana continued. The son of Nahusha, thus addressed by the contented people, then installed his son Puru on the throne. And having bestowed his kingdom on Puru, the monarch performed the initiatory ceremonies for retiring into the woods. And soon after he left his capital, followed by Brahmins and ascetics. The sons of Yadu are known by the name of the Yadavas, while those of Turvasu have come to be called the Yavanas, and the son of Drahyu and the Bhojas, while those of Anu, the Malechas, the progeny of Puru, however, are the Pauravas, among whom, O monarch, thou art born, in order to rule for 1,000 years with thy passions under complete control. With this, we come to an end to this section of Mahabharat. Until next time, this is your host, Madhulika Rajahan, signing off. Stay healthy always. Narayan, Narayan.